In 2022, Egypt exports to Africa reached 5.2 billion US dollars. About 46% of these trade volumes was to Sudan and sub-Saharan countries. Since 2013, Egypt has built two land crossings and expanded highways to Sudan to enable its products find an easier path to the other African countries through its southern neighbor.
السودان من أهم الدول الأفريقية اللي بنتعامل معها.
Sudan is one of the most important African countries as far as trade is concerned. Sudan is a natural expansion for Egypt's trade, and it is a gateway to several African countries. The most important gateway to our exports into Africa is without a doubt Sudan.
هو الحقيقة العبور مش كبير.
Transit trade has not grown as much recently, with the exception to the volume of our exports to South Sudan. For now, everything is at a standstill because of the fighting. Exporters are hoping the crisis would get resolved soon so that business would resume. But unfortunately, both land and maritime trade froze, and there is a very high risk involved now to secure the goods.
Has forced Egyptian exporters to start looking for alternative ways to access African markets without going through Sudan.
صدر دايركت عن طريق البحر لكينيا.
We export directly to Kenya through the sea. In Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, we have a massive logistical area. Egyptian firms have huge warehouses to store and export Egyptian goods from there. We have no problem reaching an African country with a port. The real issue here is the freight cost, which is quite high.
To reach landlocked countries, we could expand exports to Djibouti port. This is a major access point to countries such as Ethiopia and other neighboring countries. Mombasa port in Kenya gives us access to Uganda, Rwanda and Burundi and other landlocked nations. The biggest challenge for Egyptian exporters is to replace the Sudanese market with other African markets.
أسواق بديلة يحاولوا إن هم يبيعوا منتجاتهم فيها.
Because freight charges to African countries are quite high, Egypt sees a huge potential for overland trade, 6 countries directly and about 13 others indirectly. That gives Egyptian products access to nearly 750 million people. While that is clearly a huge potential for Egyptian exports, the political crisis in Sudan could affect this flow. Adel Mahroui for CGTN,